people have called the county on them multiple times, and it just never stops.
Aw.
That's sad. Why'd you tell
That
us
is
that
sad,
story?
yeah.
Yeah, why
Yeah,
did
now
you
we're
tell
all
us that?
sad.
Great way to start the podcast, you know?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah,
Welcome
on that
to
note,
Halcyon
hello and
Frequency.
welcome
Podcast.
to the Halcyon Frequency Podcast. Today, with me, FGsquared as the host, in a shocking turn of events, I have managed to grasp and, I don't know, wrench the podcast out of Blind's cold ass hand. No, Blind is just busy, and
Don't
I'm
tell them
filling
where he
in.
is.
And I'm joined today by ArchPlaysStuff and Suwey. How
Hi.
are you both doing today?
Hello,
Except for the
hello.
fact that you're obviously being haunted, both of those things by demon ghost goats.
Oh, okay, I guess I'm going first. I mean, I'm just waking up. It's like 5 a.m. and I'm in the middle of fixing my sleep schedule, but I am just waking up, so... Yeah.
5 a.m. is really early to fix your sleep schedule, though.
What do you
Ooh.
mean? Like, no. A week ago, I was waking up at 4 p.m.
Yeah, but why are you So you woke up today at 5 to go to bed early tonight. So you wake up at a normal time tomorrow? Is that how?
No. So what I do is it's really weird. I sleep in as late as I can, and then I stay up as late as I can, over and over and over. And so it like is a faster way of shifting the sleep schedule. And then suddenly, before you know it, you're waking up at like 4 a.m.
What I'm hearing is a segment every time she's on is what stage of her ever involving quest to have a normal sleep cycle is Suwey at?
I'm at a good stage right now, okay? Like, I usually do this, and then I'll be waking up before 10 a.m. for quite a while, and then it will just start slowly slipping until suddenly I'm waking up at 4 p.m., and it's time to shift it back again.
I feel rather sorry for you when you start working.
Yeah,
That's
and
gonna be
that's
really
gonna be this
hard.
summer.
It's
Yeah.
If everything goes according to plan, it will be this summer. I gotta
Ooh.
actually get a job offer, and like, yeah, but...
Yeah.
What's
'Cause I
funny to
graduate
me
soon.
is she's going to come to me complaining about it, yet I'm living the dream with remote work in a 5-hour offset. I have to start work by 1 p.m.
What? Really?
Yeah, I guess that makes sense considering you work for a Singapore office. Was it Singaporean office?
Correct,
Or-
Singapore.
Mm.
So
That is-
I get nice and easy mornings, and then I get an afternoon of work, and then dinner picks up, and I sort of am there as needed after about 6 p.m. So
Hmm.
yeah, no, it's quite good for me. But Suwey has been stealing all the attention over how she's doing, and I've got important news.
Mm.
Okay.
What are they? Okay.
I turned 36 yesterday.
Oh yeah, it was your birthday, which is why we couldn't record yesterday. True, happy birthday!
Old man.
Wow.
Wow, if he's an old man, what am I? I feel insulted.
Okay, fine, then I'm just a baby.
You are.
Yes.
You are. My sister has this absolutely annoying habit of posting that I'm older than I actually am. 8 years ago, she posted that it was my 40th birthday. And I was making plans to show it to someone and then be like, oh my god, she's freaking out. She thinks I'm lying about my age. Like, can you tell her that I'm not actually 48? Please, why did you post that? And really just freak my sister out. And then I thought, no, that would be a bit mean.
Well, when
Or
you
is
said it was almost your birthday on stream, I
Yeah.
went into Arch's chat and I went, hey, happy 50th!
Yeah, the exact same
Wow.
kind of cheeky.
Wow. Though on that note, I do actually have a story for that.
Oh.
Earlier this week on Twitter, like one of those stupid quizzes made the round, like, you know, oh, we'll give you like 27 songs and you'll tell us if you can sing along to them and if you like them or not, and then we'll tell you how old you are. I tell you it's rigged because like the quiz was like, you are 53 years old, and I'm like, no, I'm not. But I swear that quiz, for some reason, it gave me like really new stuff that I don't listen to, obviously, like, you know, because it's not my jam. And then it started with that. It gave me a couple of 90s songs, and then it started with all the classics from the 80s. Right? Like,
that's not fair. Everyone knows the classics from the 80s.
Exactly. And I'm like, I know that song. Because it goes like, do you know the song? Or rather, it went, do you like the song? Yes, no. And then, if you like it, can you sing along with it? And I'm like, yes, 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 yes. So they were like, all right, you like all 80s songs. Clearly, you're 53. And I'm like, no, I'm not even 38 yet. So rude.
Well, there's a lot of songs that are like way before my time that I can sing along to because, like,
yeah,
you know, they're classics and they played on the radio that my parents listened to when I was growing up. Like,
I'm sorry, Suey, you were born after the year 2000, weren't you?
I wasn't.
You're just a baby. You don't get to talk about, oh, I like songs that happened before I was born, because that's almost every song ever.
I mean, statistically, probably not, because people are making songs at exponential rate with the internet, so...
True, yeah, she's got you there. The cat also agrees with her, I think. But yeah, so that's my older than you are story. But then, whenever people hear me talk on stream, because they don't see my face, they always think I'm younger, so...
Yeah,
I guess
that's the benefit of that.
You smush it together, and then the age is, like, relatively accurate, I suppose? Maybe?
On stream, people think I'm either 16 or 30. No in between. And I'm just there like, okay, first off, I'm an adult. Second off, I haven't even graduated college yet with my bachelor's. So.
I don't think I've gotten many people who have tried to guess my age. But
I don't think it's like, I mean,
I was about to ask you to guess my age, and then...
No, I was always thinking you were around my age. Like, the way, like, I think that was a combination of your voice and how you look.
It's my maturity,
I thought he was...
I
thought he was like late 20s for ages, and we were like really close friends. And then one day he just goes, "Oh yeah, I'm this age," and I'm like, "Excuse me, what?"
She hasn't like, really talked to me much since. That's when she started. Started harassing me.
You liar!
I'm sorry. What is your new alert when you come into my stream?
Well, I think maybe we just need to insert it here. Note to the editor.
Oh god, do I even want to know? Or do we want to go to a quick break, and after the break, we will then talk about what games we've been playing? I think that's a good thing to do. So, dear listeners, we will see you. Well, not see you. Super streaming mode. You will hear us. We will not see you or not hear you in just a minute.
Hey, Arch. Guess what? You are a dummy!
Hello, Blind here. I have no idea what happened during this episode because I wasn't present for the recording of it. I was off hanging out with my dad the night before they recorded this because it's his birthday weekend. But if you want to see more of me, well, I guess you could go to twitch.tv/PLINDIRL for more Dwarf Fortress than you could reasonably watch in a lifetime. Also, go listen to other episodes of this podcast and you'll hear more of my voice. Back to the show.
You're at your desk, you've got the recording stuff open, you feel like you're in stream mode.
Yeah, and it's bright. It's like daytime, because podcast recording is nighttime normally. So it's like... And welcome back, everybody, to the Halcyon Frequency Podcast. With me today, FGsquared, as your host, and I'm joined by Arch and Suwey, and this is the segment where we talk about what games we've been playing. So, Suwey, how goes Rune Factory 5?
I can't stop playing it. It's really good. Rune Factory 5. So I've already completed the main story, but I still haven't figured out which character I want to, romance. So I've been enjoying all of the romance quest lines because you get quest lines for everyone, and it doesn't impact the game at all if you do them. So I've been enjoying those. And then I've also been enjoying Endgame because there's a surprising amount you can do in Endgame still. There's this whole dungeon thing you can go through that has I don't know, 50 floors or something. It's a lot of floors. And it's surprisingly hard. The power scale from the last dungeon of main story to this thing is absurd. So suddenly I'm really undergeared, really underleveled, and before I was overgeared, overleveled for the end of the main story.
Cool.
So
that sounds good. Have there been any updates to address frame rate at all, or nothing? Ugh.
No. I've heard that they haven't done anything for the Japanese version, which has been out for a year. So it's pretty bleak.
Yeah.
This is just rumors. I haven't seen official sources saying this, but I've just seen conjecture online.
Yeah. I mean, if they were you would assume that if they had the intention to fix stuff, they would have done it before the Western version came out, right? Because as you said, the Japanese version came out a year ago. That really sucks, because I know people really enjoyed it, but I know also a lot of people were just put off by
you have to be okay
frame
with
rate
lag.
ratio. Yeah.
I grew up dealing with lag really hard. I started gaming on my mom's laptop. That was not a gaming laptop. It was just your standard workstation laptop. And so I'd play Minecraft, and when it got to the PvP, I got 5 frames.
Oof.
So a little bit of lag does not really bother me that much. So, but there are points where it's almost unplayable in some of the boss fights, because there's boss fights where they'll put down a bunch of AoEs and have all kinds of particle effects, and the Switch just can't keep up. And so it's you're literally fighting the lag. You're not fighting the boss. You're fighting the lag when those big attacks happen, which sucks. But it's only 1 or 2 dungeons, 1 or 2 bosses, so it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, maybe I'll just wait, because I assume, considering what they've done with their last games as well, I assume it's gonna get maybe a PC port, and then because it's a PC, that's so much more powerful than the Switch.
Yeah.
Maybe then the frame rate is okay.
I hope so.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't even have lag. I didn't get to the crazy boss fights, but just the fact that when you have a full farm and you come down from a farm dragon down to the world again where you have your full farm, and it takes a solid 20 seconds for the entire farm to load is ridiculous.
Yeah, I think they're trying to load too much at once. I think they're trying to load too much scenery in too far of a distance, and so they can't the Switch just can't handle that.
Yeah. I'm not
just
sure.
letting you all know Stardew Valley is $10 in the Steam store.
True. Yeah, that's a good point.
Has no lag, has no issues like this. Can be
It
played
doesn't
on the
have
Switch.
amazing combat.
Yes, it does.
You can't tame monsters.
Yes, you can.
Maybe in
With
your
mods,
modded
yeah.
version, but not in vanilla.
You can pet the chickens. That's close enough.
That's not taming monsters. You can't
You can't
tame
ride
every
the
single
chicken.
mob almost.
You can pet goats, which is pretty
You can
much
tame
close to taming
bosses.
demons.
You can tame bosses in Rune Factory 5. Not all of them, but a good number of them.
That's pretty cool. Yeah, I'm going to keep my fingers crossed for the PC release that they can maybe fix it and kind of recover the series at that point, because this is kind of a low point for the series, I'd say, at this point.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how we hear about subpar performing ports all the time to Switch, where basically there's been a lot of struggle with the hardware, but This is first party. This is literally for the Switch. I don't understand how they've missed that mark.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just probably too much scope because, the Switch does not have much processing power, and they might have just had too high of a scope for the project and then didn't have enough time to work on optimization. There could have been crunch or something in the studio. I don't know.
The problem
Because I
is...
doubt... Well, the thing is I doubt that the developers are happy with it, right? If I developed a game and it had those frame rate issues, it would bother me, right? But they might not be able to fix it. We don't know what the situation is.
Well, this is what I'm saying. The problem is it would have been evident from the start, right? If the scope was too high, if the particle effects were too strong, they can be toned down. Right, it should not have been shipped like this. And if you as you say that it's got if I was a developer I wouldn't be happy with this, we would have seen updates in the Japanese version.
Yeah.
You know, that's almost like near enough is good enough, ship it. And it's disappointing to see that because the entire system it's run on like Game Boy DS's, which, they're clearly a step up from... The Switch is a step up from that. And, essentially, it should be running better, and the fact that it's not means that it should be addressed, and the fact that it hasn't been shows the issue that on my mind.
The thing that I don't understand is, because this is the same studio that came out with, they do Story of Seasons, formerly known as Harvest Moon, until they lost the title, right? And that game came out on Switch first as well. And then that's why I'm saying this might also get a PC port, because they've ported the first the Friends of Mineral Town Story of Seasons that the remake that they made. They ported Pioneers of Olive Town to PC. They've ported Rune Factory 4 Special to PC. So I'm assuming they're going to do that for 5 as well. But the funny thing is, Pioneers of Olive Town, which still, to be fair, to this day has my favorite abbreviation of all video games ever, which is SOS Poot. That had lag when it came out because it had lots of making machines. So put in resources and they make something. But that lag they fixed. The first update for that came out within 3-4 days. And then they had more updates for that to fix it, and it was fine after that. So I'm so confused as to why they're treating Rune Factory 5 so badly, especially because it's the first entry in the series in 10 years. It's like they're trying to kill it off or something. I don't understand.
It is 3D, so that does cause some extra stuff. I've heard that there's, lag in Breath of the Wild, but I doubt it's as bad as this. I haven't played Breath of the Wild, so I don't know.
Pioneers of Olive Town is the same perspective, basically.
Is it
almost
3D like that?
I mean, it is
I thought it was ISO.
Yeah, I guess in a way.
Because isometric's gonna take much less resources than 3D, because this is fully rendered 3D.
You know what? It's been so long since I guess it is further away. It is a bit more isometric now. But it is still 3, it's not like a flat isometric view. That's the thing, right? But I guess it is not quite as 3D as Rune Factory 5 is. That's true.
Either way, this should have been something that was at least acknowledged or discussed beforehand, because you get absolute feelings of I have the game and I've watched both of you stream it, and I don't think I could play it because it's just that lag and that back and forth, especially for an offline game, would just really bother me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the thing is, for me, low frame rate, because it'll regularly dip to 20 or lower, 15, 20 frames. It makes me sick. It actually if animations aren't smooth, and if I turn a camera and it's not smooth and you can see the stuttering, that actually triggers my simulation sickness to some extent. And it's so sad because I was like so excited for it because finally a Rune Factory, because I loved the series on the DS and 3DS at the time, but yeah, no,
Yeah, it's my
not this
first
one.
It's my first Rune Factory, so I might be thinking it with rose-tinted glasses a bit because I'm just like, ooh, this is so cool. It's kind of like my time at Porsche in a way, but different, you know? And so I'm just loving it because it's, you know, those like my time at Porsche vibes, which is like probably in my top 3 games.
No, I mean, that's the thing. Like, I try to power through, but like, my viewers just had the same problems that I had. Like, they were literally like, I can't watch this. It's so stuttery. Like, yeah. And I love the gameplay in it. That's the worst thing. I love the gameplay in it, and I love the world as well. But it's just not implemented well at all.
I was also kind of disappointed in the sound design because it's like weirdly harsh. I had to turn the music off because it was giving me a headache. And then like I noticed there's like ambient noises sometimes during the day, and it's this like really annoying bird sound on repeat with like the first 5 seconds over and over and over.
Yeah, that too. The music loop is very short in the overworld. Like when you're farming, it's just the same music over and over and over again.
Yeah, I had chat ask me to turn it off, and then I realized that it was the music that was giving me headaches.
Yeah. That is a problem.
Yeah. And, I mean, it could have been so easily fixed by just not making it so sharp and piercing.
Yeah,
just by
and not
dampening
loop
it a little.
And not just loop it, like, because the loop was really short. Like, we're talking, like, sub 30 seconds music loop here, I'd say.
I didn't really notice that. I just noticed how sharp it was. Anyway, this week, I know that Cat Cafe Manager came out. I've been wanting to play it, but I've been so focused on Refactory 5. Like, I have a key for it and everything. I have the game downloaded.
Yeah.
I'm kind of curious.
Yeah, I played Cat Cafe Manager, and let's say it this way. Cat Cafe Manager is, like, the way I called my YouTube video for this is pretty appropriate. It is Dino Dash, but with cats. But unfortunately, it's a bad version of Dino Dash.
Oh.
Because, so you design the cafe, you unlock certain stuff by, like, you know, you attract cats by feeding them, and you have to pet them and that sort of stuff. There are regulars. They're just like, you know, NPCs that don't matter that come to you. They're just customers. But there are regulars that come, and they have a story, and they will talk to you. And by serving them and talking with them and that sort of stuff, you push your friendship level up with them, and you will get new unlocks, etc., etc. But the problem is, and that works alongside the Dino Dash like gameplay, where you have to go to a customer, take their order, then you go to a coffee machine or the fridge, and you get whatever they want, and then you bring it back and that sort of stuff, right? But it's just not good, Dino Dash, because the way you do everything, taking orders, taking stuff out of the fridge, preparing it, giving it to the customer, you just click buttons. You just hold the button until it's done. And then you press.
I mean, Dino Dash was that way.
Yeah, but it's like, it's just not good. Like, you just stand there, take the coffee order, you go to the coffee machine, you press the button again, you wait, and you go back. Like, there was no
the waiting.
There was like no variety. Like, there was it lacks mini games. Like, you need many games, like for the cooking or something.
From what I remember, Dino Dash didn't have waiting periods. You just went and grabbed it, went and grabbed it, went and grabbed it. And the thing about Dino Dash was trying to actually manage it all, because they threw more than you had the time to take care of at once. And so it's about like efficiency and developing that level of efficiency. Sorry, it was one of my childhood favorite games. So
yeah, but like here, like either you have like mini games, but you also have to, like, you know, prepare like the correct ingredients, like sort of in like cook such delicious type stuff, because you have to have certain ingredients to make certain dishes, right? So, for example, if you want to make a latte, you need coffee beans and milk. But
You mean
you
overcooked?
you just get them out of the fridge by holding the button, and then you go to the next day and you hold the button again. It's just, there's so much waiting, and it just gets...
You said cook serve delicious. I think you meant overcooked.
No, I mean cook serve delicious for the cooking, the actual cooking of like ingredients.
Because cook serve delicious is a button masher. Overcooked is the one that has like mini games and you grab stuff and it's multiplayer.
No, because you have okay, I should have clarified what type of mini games. Because the buttons, I meant the buttons as the mini games. Like you have like mini gameplay for each dish, because you have to like press the buttons to like give them, I don't know, like ketchup or mustard or whatever, right, on their hot dog. That's what I meant. Like, because there's nothing like that. You just left click stuff, and it gets so repetitive. Okay. And the art and the story with the characters is just not enough to lift the game up enough that the repetitive gameplay doesn't matter. There is no penalty for theoretically failing, and theoretically you can almost AFK the entire game, because you can also hire servers. And I played 5 hours. The only thing servers couldn't do or wouldn't do yet was clean and repair machinery when it broke, which was also just button clicks. So you can literally AFK the entire game.
So what I'm hearing is that it's like, you know, the dream of owning a cat cafe with the realities of retail work.
Yeah, but even more mind-numbing, because you literally just employ your index finger and that's it. And maybe the other hand if you run around using WASD. So, yeah. I played it for 5 hours, and after that I was kind of like, oh, yeah, Like, it's one of those games that's good to play if you play... This is like one of those games to play in, like, 5 minutes there, 10 minutes there, and that's it. Like,
right.
You don't want to do a long gaming session because, yeah... you can, as I said, like, if you play long enough and you level up your servers enough, you can just idle the entire game. And the only achievement is mostly just for getting all the different types of cats, which you mostly just get by, like, you get a cat, you level it up and that sort of stuff, and then you have to rehome it, and you get more stuff for it, and then you get more cats again, and then there are 6 different types of customers that want different things, but, like, you just, I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like an idea that sort of didn't really come with the gameplay to back up anything other than this sounds like a cute game.
Yeah. Kind of.
And that does happen in a lot of things, like, people might get carried away with the idea of a premise that they really like, but they can't follow it up with anything.
It sounds for all of what I've said, feels like it sounds very negative. Like, it's not like I won't go back to the game ever, because as I said, it's like one of those games that's good to play in short bursts. So if you got like 10 minutes here, you just do a day or two, and then you just put it away again, and you pick it up again at a later time. For that, it's good. Or like potentially even on like either the Switch or like mobile. Like when you're traveling, you just play a day while you're mobile. While you're going somewhere on your phone, and then you go. Not that it's out on phone, it's out on Switch, but like it's like one of those types of games. But it's not like an amazing. It's not a management game, basically, because you have to pay for ingredients. And like the way you do it is like you serve witches, like you serve certain customers certain things that you buy with a certain currency, and then they pay you in a different currency, and then you pay that to get new stuff. But I don't know, it's a very, very, very idly eventually, and I say that as somebody who plays idle games. It's just it kind of misses its mark a little bit, unfortunately.
That's sad. Maybe I'll have a different opinion when I play it, but
I was hoping for a little bit more, but alas.
Alas.
Alas. Yeah, indeed. It's almost like something that somebody would say that reads some Elder Scrolls, wouldn't you say, Arch? That was the worst transition ever.
I think that wins the current award for the worst segue. Yeah, I have to agree, because I don't think I've ever heard the word alas in Elder Scrolls. And that is surprising because it has so many quests that are fully voiced. Oh my gosh, I could go on how much I love the quests in Elder Scrolls. Like, I play it solo. I do not like. I have a guild that I talk with and I sometimes spend some time with, but I play solo, and the game is just so great for that. It's like the best MMO to play by yourself. You know, be antisocial in an MMO because it feels right.
I mean, you can in Final Fantasy 14 too, but...
Yeah, stop trying to get me to play that, Suey.
No!
The boat sailed in that because they've opened an Australian data center and you'll never get me on your US server now.
I mean, there's going to be data center travel in one of the upcoming patches soon.
Oh, I'm sure. But yeah, Elder Scrolls recently, you know, the main reason that I was playing it is they've got a new expansion coming up, the High Isles. And that's going to be exploring the lore and backstory and world of the Bretons, which is one of the races that tend to get overlooked because they're humans, and there's already a lot of humans in the game, so it tends to be overlooked. A lot of people think of the exotic places like the Ultima and the Dunmer, like so Somerset Isles, Morrowind, and the Khajiit with Elsewhere, and all of that. So this is actually really cool, and I'm really excited to see it because it looks like they're really focusing on like a sailing and nautical style as well, meets, you know, very, like, they're called Bretons, so they're very Arthurian almost in their styles, and it's you know, something that I quite like. And they had their live stream showing it off not yesterday, the day before. Was a lot of fun, and I'm super keen for it. I actually pre-purchased the deluxe edition, and I got a cute little ghostly fawn, you know, little baby deer. So I'm a sucker for those limited time, those time limited bonuses. But yeah, one of my favorite things about Elder Scrolls is one of the voice actors is the Winnie the Pooh voice actor. And I'm not sure if I've spoken about this on podcast before, because I've spoken about it elsewhere, but it's really funny hearing Winnie the Pooh talking about, you know, how he's going to cut someone's throat or something, you know, because you still hear a little bit of that, oh, bother. You know, that's the worst Winnie the Pooh impression I've ever done, but I hadn't intended to do one, so I didn't work on it.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's really interesting, and I just love the story. I've been in Blackwood at the moment, which was before this one coming out, has been their latest expansion, and just doing all the quests there, and it's such an epic story. And you think about, like, you know, this is just one of the areas within the game. There are so many areas and so many things, like I've played for countless hours. I'm about level 500 in champion points, and I've probably done the full story for 2.5 areas, and there's about 10. And yeah, it's just amazing and how in-depth the story for it all goes.
Yeah, I played ESO God quite a while ago, probably, I want to say 2016, so like not too like relatively short after launch compared to like what it would be now, right? 2 years versus like 8. But I remember I played with Lex and we bought it, and we played like one day, and we played like 8 hours, 10 hours, and then we never touched the game again. And I don't know why, because it's not like we didn't have fun. It's just weird. Like, I don't know. We just never touched it again.
That is strange.
That is very,
because
yeah.
To me, it's like the perfect game that you can just sink so many hours into, go back and sink so many more. So I'm quite surprised that, that happened. But, yeah, I found myself, I actually only recently started playing it again because of Lost Ark. I started playing Lost Ark and then remembered how much better Elder Scrolls Online is. And so when it installed Elder Scrolls Online.
Yeah, talking about Lost Ark, I haven't touched that in like forever.
No, same.
I hardly ever play. Yeah, almost 2 weeks ago now.
I think I've even uninstalled it.
I haven't
Which
yet.
one was that?
That was the
Lost Ark,
the
the MMO, the Korean MMO.
The Korean one? Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I played that like obsessively for like 2-3 weeks, and then I was just done.
Yeah. Where you can be a male character or a sexy character.
Yeah, pretty much.
True.
Yeah, talking about MMO games, I tried a new one out on Thursday for a sponsored segment. Sorry, full disclosure there. I was paid to play it, which is like sort of an open world survival game with MMO like interactions if you want to. Like you can have your own server and then you can fight against people from other servers if you so choose, if you want to do PvP. The game I'm talking about is Cultivation Tales. So it's a Chinese game. And it has like this whole cultivation thing kind of like the whole cultivation myth and progression system kind of like in it. So basically your goal is to become a god. That's the whole that's the whole point of cultivation, right? You do things and you meditate and you become stronger, that you one day become a god yourself. That's the whole idea behind it. And it's got like this, obviously, like, it's a Chinese game, it's a cultivation game, so it's got like lots of like Asian flavoring and that sort of stuff in it. And it was kind of a mess when I played it. So I played before it came out, and so I played on the QA service, and then halfway through my stream of it, there was an update, and then for the next 16 hours, there was a server and a game version mismatch that they couldn't fix. So I couldn't even finish my sponsor segment, and they had like DDoS issues and all sorts of things. It was kind of messy.
Yeah, that's not what you want, especially like, for them having used on the stream.
Yeah, it wasn't that great. And then I mean the thing is I was just also like I had gone through the tutorial. I just had picked my like base building thing because I wanted to show you how the base building is, because it's an open world survival MMO, right? So you want to see like how the building is and that sort of stuff, because the building in the screenshots looks really, really cool, because you can build really cool things, and you can freaking fly it. You can stand on your sword and fly, which is pretty cool. It's like a spiritual sword. But I had literally only put down about 9 foundations, and then the game died.
Oh no.
Yeah. Oh. So yeah, and I think they're still having server issues as well.
So out of curiosity, when that happens, how does that impact your sponsorship? Is that something you can talk about, or?
Well, the thing is, this was like not like one where we signed a contract. This was through Catapult.
Right.
And I have no idea, actually.
Okay, because this is one thing that, from a viewer perspective, it's always very clear, like, this is a sponsored stream. But the details behind it and how it all works and the terms of the sponsorship vary greatly per game. And I don't think anyone watching streams, unless they've dealt with sponsorships themselves, really gets to understand or appreciate that whole aspect.
Yep. Yeah, I don't know. I played for about an hour. I tried for 15 minutes to get back into the servers. Obviously, it's not fun for people to watch me just try log into a server. But I tried for 15 minutes. Even like restarted the Steam and that sort of stuff. There was so the servers went down. Then I left the game, restarted Steam to get the update, downloaded the update, and then tried to log in for the next 15 minutes. So
Right.
I submitted what I have, and I let them know. And yeah, obviously, because the problem is they had like even yesterday, halfway through my stream, they still had issues. It took them that long to resolve the version mismatch issues, and then they had DDoS issues because too many people wanted to play. And so like even if I wanted to, I wouldn't have been able to like redo the segment or do the extra 45 minutes. So I have no idea. I don't know. I have to wait and see what happens now. Actually.
I mean, it's not your fault, so
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing, right? Yeah.
it's kind of on their end. So like,
Yeah.
they should be the ones to deal with that.
Yeah. I mean, I had a sponsorship once where I played the game, and the devs literally went like the whole premise of the sponsorship was like, we have no idea if this is a good game idea. But we made
so
it
you were
anyways.
basically a beta tester.
Yeah, sort of for that. Well, kind of, yeah. And
Alpha.
they released the game, and they paid me to play it, and I was like, yeah, this is interesting. Music's cool. Game's kind of not good, though, and that was okay. Like they just wanted the open, honest opinion during the sponsorship, and that was fine as well. So it depends. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, that was my adventure with Cultivation Tales.
It kind of. I'm kind of curious about whether the word cultivation means anything in Chinese, because there's also that cultivation simulator where you're a god that sort of looks
Yeah.
over the pawns, the Rimworld clone.
Yes, you
So-
mean Amazing Cultivation Simulator. Yes.
Yes, sorry, I just said cultivation.
Well, so
simulator.
cultivation is in it like for a person is like you it's like a spiritual thing, right? Basically you refine yourself so much that you eventually become divine. That is the whole
Yeah.
idea behind cultivation. But yeah, so that there's like it's like I don't want to, because I don't know which particular like religious ideas behind it, because I don't know, but that's basically the thing. That's also the idea behind Amazing Cultivation Simulator, because you run this entire settlement to eventually uplift all the inhabitants to divine status, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's definitely and I'm not sure if it's just Chinese or East Asian, but it's like a thing. I guess.
It's a thing, yeah. I was about to say that.
Yeah. Talking about the worst segues in history, because that was sponsored. I did another sponsored stream yesterday for Celeste, Crown of the Magister, in particular the Lost Valley DLC.
I have heard some amazing things about this game.
Yes.
How was
Oh
it?
yeah, I played it. It's a good game. I haven't
it's
played the
really
DLC, but
It's really good. So, Celeste, Crown of the Magister is a top-down isometric CRPG, based on the 5th edition D&D rule set as much as they can. Like, like, because you can base systems on D&D without calling it D&D. If you don't take it too far, like there's like whole guidelines for what you can do, what you can't do, etc., etc. So
Yeah.
it's that. So it uses 5th edition rules, and it was kickstarted, and it's sort of a little bit more of an indie take on a CRPG than, say, for example, like what Larian Studio does with like the Divinity Origins Sin games, or like Baldur's Gate now, and it's so good. It is really, really good. I had so much fun playing it. Like all the quest interactions, they're like voiced. So like when you're talking to somebody, you're getting a quest or you're handing a quest in, you always get cutscenes as voiced. So that's always a big plus in CRPG games, because there's some where there's just so much text. And yeah, it's got magic, and it's got new classes with the DLC. The DLC is an entire new campaign, like a new story campaign, that's independent from like the main story. And the coolest thing, and I'm so happy that more CRPG games are doing this, because it makes it so fun to play, is it now has multiplayer. So you can play with up to 4 people together. And that's really cool. Like, some of my best gaming was, like, the most fun I had gaming was playing through Divinity Origins 2 with, like, 4 people multiplayer. And you can do it with Celeste now as well. And it worked pretty well. There were a couple of desync issues, but nothing like major that a reload didn't fix. And yeah, it was just really, really fun. We almost got wiped by gorillas several times. It's great. And yeah, no, it's a fantastic game. And if you like CRPGs, I would highly recommend grabbing it. I mean, this sounds like a sponsor pitch, but right now the game is 60% off, so it's like really cheap as well for the tens of hours. Like you literally get like 40 to 60 like hours of entertainment out of the main campaign, and it's like £13. I mean, that is a freaking good deal if I've ever seen one. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with that. So we went MMO, sponsored MMO, sponsored not MMO. How's been Final Fantasy 14 going for you? Talking more MMO.
Yeah, they came out with a new patch on Monday. No, it's Tuesday. And I may stay up late to play it. Maybe.
And
it was really good. It added a dungeon, some story. And like the big thing that I'm excited for that it added was the new Alliance raid, which is really, really fun. And Alliance raid is 24 men, so 24 people get put into it, 3 alliances of 8, and it's just like really fun content. And then so I haven't finished all the story for that yet though, because I've been kind of busy, but I wanted to play those. And then they've also added a new system for housing, and they opened up the new housing district that's in it's in Ishgard, which is the dragons and kind of more stone, almost like medieval-y sort of feel to it area. And yeah, sadly they had to move Island Sanctuary to 1.2, and data center travel isn't till 6.2. And data center travel isn't going to be until a few patches, but it's going to be before the next major patch.
So because I've only played Final Fantasy 14 like a teeny tiny bit, and how does housing work exactly? Because I have heard like things that people like that you can kind of lose your house, and like if you don't use it, and it's like
if you don't play.
Yeah, are plots limited for houses?
Yes.
Or okay.
There is 24 wards. I don't know how many plots are in each ward off the top of my head, but I think it's like 30 something.
Okay.
And so there's prior to this, there was the 3 main cities plus Kugane. So there's 4 different like types of things, and now they added another city that you can have a house in. So now there's 5 of them. And they completely changed the system. So before, it was a thing where you would just keep clicking a button to see if it happened to open up that you could buy a plot. And it was kind of weird, and like people would use like clicking bots and stuff to try to game it, you know? And so it was just really tedious and awful to try to farm for one. And then they've changed it, so now it's a lottery-based system where you pay the money for the house, put it into the lottery, And then after like 5 days, they pull the winner. And if you don't get it, they refund your money, your in-game money.
Oh, okay. Do you get any benefits from having houses in?
So on a single player basis, they're just for decoration. But for your guild or in the game they call it free companies, but for your group, it adds in the company workshop, which allows you to make some different items, some special stuff, and kind of, yeah. So it's just some extra special items. Like, there's no reason you have to make them. It's not like the super casual player. It doesn't really add anything of value, but if you're going real hard on the game, it does add value.
Okay. Fair enough. Well, good then that there's more space, I guess, so more people have the chance to.
Oh yeah, they
get
changed
one.
it as well. So wards 1 through 24, no, 1 through 18 are free companies only, and then 18 through 24 are single people only, so that free companies have more of a chance to actually get a plot. Because right now it's mostly dominated by like single people having them, and they want free companies to be able to have it, so more people can enjoy having a house. Yeah.
Got it. Cool. Well, that sounds good. It's good that that game is going on and going as strong as it is.
Oh yeah, it's so good. It's so good.
I'm going to steal this segue because I'm going
Do it.
to shift into player housing that is not limited by arbitrary rules and instancing. I've been
Go
playing Worm Online again.
I am so surprised and shocked.
Look, it's I literally should just, every time I'm in the podcast, we just be like, so Arch, what's your playtime in Worm Online now? And I'll be like, oh, it's up another 20 hours because I've been doing this. But yes, so Worm Online is, I've been playing it again. There's a few things going on. There's an Easter player event called an Impalong, which is where the whole community comes together, improves items and weapons for players for free. There's games. I took part in Deal or No Deal, which is a game in Worm that had been set up by a community member, and that was a lot of fun. But yeah, they announced their latest news today, and they're adding treasure maps to the game. So those of you who have played Ultima Online would remember the style. You can find, through doing mundane actions, you can find a treasure map which lists a location in which there is a buried cache. And you then have to solve the clues, track down the item, and dig up the treasure. So yeah, that's really, really going to be a lot of fun, because one of the biggest problems Worm has is everyone becomes a bloody hermit living in their little village, and nobody wants to leave the deeds. So this will actually get a lot of people out and roaming the lands, hopefully.
Cool.
But yeah, I'm very looking forward to it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and it might even get me actually streaming it, because I know someone's sitting there asking, Arch, you're going to be talking about this a lot. Why do you never stream it? It's because I like having people watch my stream.
I mean, to be fair, like I 100% can understand. There are just certain games that you really, really enjoy, but they're like off-stream games. They're not on-stream games. And that can be for various reasons.
Yeah. The main thing for Worm Online is, and this is something that Bloody Drongo used to have, Worm Wednesdays, where he would play it every Wednesday. And the main thing is it's not a game you stream for the gameplay, which sounds very strange, but it was quite often an opportunity to talk with the community, to showcase what people have been doing, almost like a catch up on what's been happening, as opposed to watch it happen live. And some other streamers treated it almost like a podcast platform, something to play while they did a podcast and talked about the game. And so that kind of, you know, because I used to work there and I used to watch a lot of people stream it, and some would show themselves making 1,000 planks, and it's like, I understand you want to stream and you want to play, but, you know, if you're wondering why you've only got 2 people watching, this is it. Whereas like Bloody Drongo and the others, they would do, you know, very interactive with the community where the gameplay came second. And that's where a lot of that comes in for Worm. It's like the gameplay comes second to streaming because it's more about the interaction with the community and showcasing things. And it's an absolutely beautiful game. It's come a long way to what everyone remembers it was. You know, it's a very, very long way. I've got some of the oldest screenshots I could find, and I look at those and it's a completely different game. But yeah, it's something that I will always be playing, so we can just ask, what's the update for your playtime?
Got it. That's good to know. Thanks for sharing. I guess that once again leaves me, the person that plays all the games, to talk about more games. I only have two. I only have 2 on my list, so it's not been like I've actually left out a few. But anyways, so one is actually quite quick. Actually, both of them are quite quick. So I jumped back into, because right now we're in a bit of a lull with new releases. So I jumped back into Settlement. Bless you. I jumped back. No, all good, all good. I jumped into Settlement Survival because, like, it's. I know it's a game that people will enjoy, and I want to see where it's going.
You're right there.
So he currently is dying from sneezing. So
and giggling.
All good. And giggling, yeah.
I'm just gonna mute.
That's fine. So Settlement Survival is a game that came out last year in October in early access, and they quite release date. It is inspired by Banished, and so it's a Banished typed survival settlement builder. So it's right there in the name, right? And I have talked about. I'm pretty sure I've talked about it on a podcast as well, how Banished has its place in history as a game that kind of revitalized city builders and like just like in the main gaming sphere, so to speak. But ultimately, Banished is a wide but very shallow puddle because
it broke the dam, but everything else came through.
Yeah, exactly. And Settlement Survival kind of picks that up, but then actually like makes the game and gives it meat. So Settlement Survival works like Banished, but has research that you can do to get better buildings and make things just better. It's got something like it's got like multiple ways of progressing. So you have like research that you just accrue by like having schools and like research posts and like academies and all that sort of stuff. And then you unlock new buildings and you make stuff better with it. It also has something called proficiency bonuses, which is basically the longer somebody does a thing, it contributes points overall to the proficiency score, and you can level them up. So, I don't know, for example, like livability, which is kind of a weird way, but basically by having people in your town and them living and them, like, you know, turning really old and not dying, you accrue a livability XP, and then when you get a proficiency level, they get more health and more stamina, so they can work longer and they can survive being without food and water for longer because they have more health and so on and so forth. And it's just got so much complexity, which Banished lacked, which is amazing. You've got administrators that give you bonuses for your town. You have certain items that you can only acquire via trade, but then that's the trade ship, but then you also can make trade caravans, and you have caravans that go off map. You can trade with like 1 of 4 different factions. By trading with them, you level their reputation level, which unlocks more things. And the game's currently only like it's been out in early access now for 6 months, and they've added like so much stuff on top.
Right.
for the complexity. It's just really good. Like, I'm super happy to see where it's going. There's still some tweaking that needs to be done, but compared to like where it was in October, where it was a bit too difficult and stuff would spiral out of control really, really quickly, they've definitely fixed it. It's just been like really fun. So if anybody wants like a Banish type game that's good, Settlement Survival. It's also really cheap. Like, it's like not on sale, like £13. Like, it's not 13, £11. It is literally cheaper than Banished, and it's so much better. And it's £3, £3.50, but just about £3.50 cheaper than Banished. It's great. It's really, really good, and I had a really good time getting back into it. And I think my community also really enjoyed it. And then one last game that I'm actually through. And wouldn't you know it, I did a sponsored segment for it. So, full disclosure, I have so many sponsorships this month. It's ridiculous. Also an older game that I went back to. It was Anno 1800, because the newest DLC came out. And with that, they had like a promotion where you can play the game for free for like a week. So they sponsored the stream in 2 different occasions. But what I did was actually not play multiplayer, not show the new content. I went back and actually played the campaign. Because I'd never played the campaign of Anno 1800. I only played the multiplayer. So I'm currently playing through the campaign. And it's been fun. It's been fun going back to Anno 1800 and actually playing it like in single player. And I'm gonna do more on Monday because I enjoyed it so much. So
I've actually been told that I should look into it and I should play it. You know, as I've been doing my streams of like, you know, just chill sort of work and lurk style, I've had a lot of people saying, you know what, Anno 1800 would be great for your style.
It is. I'm not sure how much like like right now it's kind of blowing up again because new DLC, there's currently drops on Twitch and that sort of stuff. But I can see that, like, just at least if you just do the campaign and the scenarios, maybe. Like, multiplayer is a bit of a slog. It's a bit of a slog fest because you can do cooperative multiplayer, which is cool, but you can't play on anything faster than 1x speed, and it's just so slow. But I can see that. Like, I'm not sure how much like people are there to watch like the older stuff, but it's definitely a fun like city building, town building experience. Especially like when you get to like the higher tiers, it starts to get really, really complicated. And if you got some of the DLC, it gets more complicated too, because the DLCs open up more maps with more production lines and production chains and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, I have to say, like, it worked on me as well. I'm kind of tempted to grab the DLCs as well, just for the new scenarios and check out the new scenarios.
I think part of the free weekend, there's also, I think you can get everything for me it was $107 down from like $180. 40%.
Yeah, everything
off.
is on sale. Yeah, everything is on sale.
It was very, very tempting to just bite the bullet and get that. And I thought, no, I should play the free one first.
Yeah, just see if you like it first, and then play. But yeah, no, I just jumped back into the campaign because I'd never done it because I'd only ever played multiplayer, like in beta and when it came out, and I was like, I should play the campaign because I like campaigns in like RTSs and like city builders. I enjoy campaigns if they're done well. So yeah, it was good to play it, and I'm gonna play more of it because Yeah, I'm gonna do it on Monday because yes, there's more stuff coming out, but it's not like super amazing hype things. So
yeah, no, it is a bit of a quiet period at the moment as we move from everyone returning after spring break, and then I think the next big release period is what summer.
Yeah, summer. Indeed, yeah, it's been quiet, and that is a perfect talking about segues. Perfect segue to our next segment, where we'll talk about the very very few gaming news that appeared this week, and we will be right back after this very short break.
Hi there, podcast listeners. Jess here. If you missed me on today's episode, never fear. Stop by on Twitch instead. You can find me at twitch.tv/woe_Jess, Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Mountain Time. Please enjoy the rest of this episode, and thank you for listening.
And welcome back, everybody. You're listening to the Halcyon Frequency Podcast, and right now we're going to go talk about the very few gaming news that we kind of had to dredge from the bottom of the sea to even have something to talk about today, but there is a little bit. And keeping with the topics of MMOs, because for some reason that's kind of just making its way all the way through the episode today. What is Ultima's creator up to, Arch?
Oh, what isn't he up to? So Richard Garriott, known to Ultima fans as Lord British, is making another MMO. Apparently, 1, 2, 3, 10 is not enough, and he's diving back into it with a blockchain MMO.
Yes.
Basically, he believes there's not really any good NFT games right now, in his opinion, and neglects to think that perhaps that's because NFTs are not good in general, and wants to build towards creating an MMO with plots of land as NFTs. Big sigh on that, and I'm sure a lot of people are sighing. It's not a surprise in the history of Richard Garriott. He has been one to kind of jump onto a few systems and schemes that some have felt are a little bit money hungry. But if you build it, hopefully they will come. That's his belief anyways.
Yeah, so I never played Ultima, but basically the reason as to why he's saying that is because in his experience, what he said is people in Ultima would build stuff and have shops and that sort of stuff, and they would sell them to other people to take over via services like eBay. And he's thinking, all right, we're gonna do that, but we're gonna do that through NFTs, like the ownership through NFTs.
And once again, we find the fundamental problem with NFTs is they're a solution to a problem that already has a dozen solutions that do it all better.
Yeah, and I'm just like thinking, why NFTs? Like, why not just do it through an in-game auction house shop type thing? Like,
because this is a discussion that I've had previously. There are people who love NFTs and there are people who play games. Those two crowds do not merge. And a lot of games out there are trying to woo them into merge, right? So the idea of this is if you get a plot of land and you build something that's really cool, gets popular, you build an inn that's roleplay and has a lot of people coming by and is an absolutely great place, you can then sell that as the NFT. The problem is, in order to build a place that is like that, you need to be firmly into the gaming and role-playing sphere. They're not necessarily within the NFT sphere. And this is where all NFT games that I've seen are making the same problem. In order to do really well within it, you have to be a really good gamer. And it's only appealing to gamers, and the NFT side doesn't appeal to them, whereas the NFT side, NFT players or NFT people aren't really into the gaming heavy side. So, yeah, it is basically two markets trying to overlap in a Venn diagram and then target that thin sliver where they do. And that's why I think they're having issues.
There might be some confusion though, because so it might be confusion on the like business people's side, because people kind of think gamers are tech people, but gamers and tech people are not necessarily one and the same, because some people absolutely love learning about all the new tech and like are huge on tech, but they don't want to play games. And there's vice versa, people who just want to play games and they don't really care about the newest tech. And I mean, that's probably most of us here is people who like games, not are too huge on the newest piece of tech.
The biggest issue is basically the whole space is waiting for one game that does it right. The second one game does it right, you will see an explosion. And all of these companies and all of these games are betting on them being the one that does it right.
Wanting to have a market in place, if you can have plots of land in the game where you can build stuff on, and then you get something out of it as well, and then potentially like maybe like in-game currency or whatever. If you have if you run an inn and people stay there, you get stuff or whatever. Who knows? I can understand building a marketplace for that into your game, not necessarily even costing real world currency, just in-game money. I can see that. I just don't understand why it has to be NFTs. Like, it's just like, because clearly ownership is already registered on the server, so why not just do it to an in-game shop? Like, it's just so convoluted and complicated and so bad for the environment. And it's not like some, I don't know, millionaire XYZ is going to pay, I don't know, $10,000 to own a freaking inn in Ultima 13th Reckoning Hell on Earth or something, whatever. I don't know. Like, it seems
And
so
herein-
weird to me.
Herein lies the problem, and it's the problem that NFTs are yet to tackle, of why an NFT over anything else. And the only answer you'll really get is because it's new technology. And that's all it is. It's new technology that is waiting for a use case that actually makes sense, because all of the other ones don't make sense.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
I firmly believe that there will be a point in which NFTs do make sense, but I think right now everything that's trying to be used for it is not working. It's, you know, the goal of the internet is a post-scarcity society, and now we're going back saying, hey, why don't we make things that should be limitless on the internet limited just to make money, you know? And I don't particularly like that. But yes,
Yeah,
next news piece.
Yeah, next, like, all right, can we all just sum up again? NFTs suck. Like, that's just how it is. So, yeah. Next piece of news. For once, nothing to do with NFTs or the metaverse. Woohoo! It's just something that popped up. And then this is how slow this week was. It's a co-op game. It's not an MMO. It's a co-op game. Babylon's Fall has indeed fallen, like very much fallen. This game came out. It's a Square Enix game. It's on Steam, and other places. Came out on the 3rd of March, so 6 weeks ago, and player numbers have, obviously, you know, they go up and down, and down. It's just how it is. But it's a co-op game, and player numbers have fallen to below 10 on Steam. Like less than 10 concurrent players on Steam for a game that came out 6 weeks ago. And looking at the Steam page for it, I am not surprised that has happened. So basically, if you look at the reviews, it's apparently repetitive, very repetitive. Like, actually playing through it, like, you have to play through the game before it gets any good, before you get to end game, which is apparently the thing that's actually fun. And on top of that, it is insanely expensive. like the basic version of the game is £60. And it's something like 80 Canadian, so I assume it's going to be $70, which is insane.
60 US. Unless you get the digital deluxe, which is $100.
Oh, so they're screwing over. Oh, okay, cool. They're cool. Screwing over everybody that's paying in not dollars. Cool, because it's £60 and 80 Canadian.
84 NZ, and the deluxe edition is 133. That's with 30% off.
Yeah. Wow.
Oh, you're talking about the 30% off? Yeah, I'm looking at the base price.
No, it's $120 New Zealand base. And the deluxe edition is 100 and... Is that what I think it is? One moment. The font is incredibly tiny.
Mm-hmm.
$189 New Zealand for the deluxe edition.
Oh, Arch, really quick. How much is one New Zealand dollar compared to a US dollar?
They're about the same size. I think the New Zealand dollar is a little bit smaller.
The worth, the value.
Oh, you should have said that.
Yeah, well,
68 US cents.
Okay, so it's almost at conversion rate, but they're still kind of screwing you guys over.
Oh, New Zealand always gets screwed over. But not on top of that, you can also purchase Garaz, which I assume is a type of gem.
Yeah, it's like an in-game currency, yeah.
Cosmetic skins for customization. Yeah, so not only is it an incredibly expensive buy-to-play game, it then also has a lovely series of purchase currency.
So just was $60 to be the price after the 30% off?
No, it's before.
That's
with the 30%
price,
off,
okay.
it's $41.99.
Okay, yeah, because the base price is £60, so that is insane. That is somebody has not done the conversion rate at all, because that's $80. That's $80.
What the heck?
And
dude?
80, yeah, and 80 Canadian to US is 63. So yeah, somebody has not done their research at all in terms of conversions
They just
here.
Screwed over people using British pounds.
And I assume did the same for people that pay in euros as well. And yeah, so seems like that game. I mean, to be fair, the game had a terrible launch window, like terrible, right? 3rd of March meant it was right between what was it? Horizon Forbidden West and Elden Ring.
It has battle passes.
Oh, it has.
Sorry, I'm reading reviews.
Oh,
I'm reading reviews. This person says adding battle passes and skins.
Great.
And they're saying it should be free to play with all the battle passes and skins in this review.
That is incredibly strange.
Yeah.
Especially from the same developer as Nier Automata.
Yeah.
You know, that is... I imagine there is something behind that. You know, that's kind of how I look at that. I look at this and go, maybe there's something behind it. Maybe there's something else going on. So, yeah, it looks like a game that they sort of thought, we'll put out, we'll weather the storm, and we'll improve it as we go. But it certainly is quite an expensive entry into a new IP with strange mechanics. And like even the positive reviews are like, oh, you've only got to wait for the first several hours and then it gets good. And quite simply, with Steam's refund policy, no one's trying it out for more than 2 hours.
Yeah, if the positive reviews are already like, play it for a while and then it gets good, or play the main campaign and then endgame it gets good, and like, I don't know.
It's like when someone's trying to get you to try a new food and the only thing they can say is, oh, it's an acquired taste, but you'll love it once you get used to it.
Yeah, or it's like the whole like, oh yeah, it gets good if you add bacon to it or something like that. But yeah, like overall, I mean, for a triple A game like this, with definitely has a triple A price, if not more. It has only 226 user reviews on Steam.
And
That's
you know,
not a lot.
I'm pretty sure we're giving them way more airtime than they've gotten anywhere else.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But like, just looking at it, like 46% are positive and mostly negative recently, 38%. That's rough.
bad.
So, yeah, probably a recommendation here is to not touch this with a 10-foot pole.
That said, we've
Yeah.
not played it, and maybe after we
True.
put in several hours, we might enjoy it.
But we're not going to put in several hours.
Actually, my time is worth more than that, I think. I have other things that I want to do more, and I think that have more enjoyment with. So, yeah.
I claim that, but I still spend 20 hours a week in Worm Online, so, you know.
Yeah. I'm just kind of sad.
Time spent enjoyed is not time wasted.
Which I'll also
there you
add
go.
that Worm Online did add a cooking update that added bacon, and it did actually make the game a lot more enjoyable, so maybe there is something behind that.
There's some bacon in it. You heard it here first. So yeah, basically what we're saying is stay away from Babylon's Fall, unless you want to get disappointed, I suppose. Talking about our next topic, a lot of people were kind of disappointed by the first game that came out, but now I think it's definitely redeemed itself, and the developer that we're talking about is Hello Games, and the infamous Sean Murray and No Man's Sky, which just had a big update drop that revamped a whole bunch of stuff, added pirates, I think, and all sorts of other things, and is now a pretty freaking good game, especially considering you can get it at 50% off or more a lot of the time. But there was an interview that Sean Murray did with the new update release, and what in particular did he talk about in that update, Arch?
Sean Murray cannot help being Sean Murray, despite saying that he has learned his lesson on talking about games too early and hyping up games too much. He has mentioned that Hello Games is working on a new game project coming out that is so ambitious it would seem impossible even with a 1,000 person team. Now, the first thing that anyone feels is, oh god, here we go again. And this herein is the problem. It doesn't matter how excited he is, Sean Murray should keep his mouth shut.
He should,
because the
yeah,
second he
agreed.
talks up a game, especially like that, like, one thing I want to get clear, I've worked as a community manager. I've been so hype about updates. I've been so excited to talk about them. I understand that passion. I understand that, you know, almost the understanding of the breadth and scope. But he's got to be aware of the reputation that his words have.
Yep.
And especially how it went with No Man's Sky. Saying something like that instantly has the hairs on the back of everyone's neck rise. And like, yeah, no,
I mean, that's
I
why
don't
we're
trust
talking about it, right?
Exactly, you know?
Because it's basically not news, but the fact that, yeah, like, clearly nothing was learned here, and it's just gonna... We don't know, obviously, if it's gonna go the same way again, but...
We don't.
Definitely has me very hesitant.
Yeah, the more he talks about it like that, the more people are wary that it will go like that, you know?
Yeah, definitely.
And that's kind of it. They've, like... No Man's Sky is amazing. I've not played it personally, but I've watched people play it, and it looks amazing. It looks great. It looks like the game that he talked about when he was hyping it up.
Yes,
But the
now that
problem
it's
is...
been out for quite a while. Several
Exactly.
years.
The problem is we now have a situation where people are used to the fact that Sean hypes something up, a subpar release comes out, you know, so no one's actually going to let any of the hype get to them on this. There's going to be a lot of hesitancy, and the very fact that he is hyping it up is going to be something that's going to have people go, well, in that case, I'm not interested. Just simply because of the history of that. But I mean, if they have learned their lesson and they take the time, then I am all for seeing how it goes. So,
I was just sad with No Man's Sky because they don't have like a way to like lock onto a reference point when you're flying, I'm pretty sure. And so like I need some sort of reference point. I need to like know where's up, where's down. And if I can't, and like when you're in in space in No Man's Sky, there's no way to like have a reference point that's really easy to lock onto. And so it like caused me like, I don't know how to explain it, but it just made me like I don't know, it's like when you're going on one of those roller coasters that have a drop. It felt like that. I need to be able to tell where up and down is. I can't do flying games.
Yeah, I've not actually touched No Man's Sky, so I also can't. I've heard like my community talk about it, and there's some people who really love the game now. I've not played it yet since I played it when it came out, and I had to refund it because I couldn't play it because it also triggered my simulation sickness. Because you couldn't adjust like FOV, and there's some stuff but then when there's like flying games, if they've got like basically like they do like these lines to show that you're going really fast, and like they distort stuff and that sort of stuff, and that I can't deal with. That makes me really, really sick as well.
Right.
So yeah, I need to try it out again at some point in time. I've really been meaning to, just never done it. But it has redeemed itself. But yeah, clearly, unfortunately, Sean Murray hasn't really
redeemed himself.
Yeah, exactly. That is the case. Indeed. So yeah, that was the very, 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 very slow news week of this week leading up to Easter. On this here, well, it's not Easter Sunday yet for us. Well, for Arch it is actually, but
it is.
For the rest of us isn't yet. Yep. So happy Easter to all of you who celebrate today. We don't have any questions from the audience this week. I just checked and just double checked. If you'd like to leave us some questions though, because normally at the end we also answer some audience questions, you can head on over to our Discord. You can find a link to that on halcyonfrequency.com. That's where you can find more info about us as well. And I think the only thing that's left to say is I thank you so much, Arch and Suwey, for joining me on this 14th episode of the Halcyon Frequency Podcast. I can't even say our team name anymore. Oh boy. And Arch, where can people find you?
They can find me on Twitter at ArchPlaysStuff and on Twitch at ArchPlaysStuff.
Perfect. And Arch, soon TM, Arch will be known as Arch Plays Stardew Valley.
Yes.
Right?
Name change when?
I mean, I have been accused of that, but unfortunately, unlike you, FG, I lack the ability to jump from game to game. I tend to get myself nicely settled in and cozy with a game and play that for a good couple of months. So, if you like Stardew Valley and chill times, well, I'll be playing Stardew Valley for a while.
Sounds good. And Suwey, where can we find you?
I am Suwey, Suwey, on Twitch, and then on Twitter. Do I have any other places?
YouTube?
Wow, my brain is tired.
YouTube. I can find you on YouTube.
Oh, yeah. It's Suey Streams on Twitter and then just Suey on YouTube as well.
Perfect. And I am FGsquared. I was your host for this episode. I would say probably the second best host the Halcyon Frequency Podcast has ever had. So I will write that into my resume now. And you can find me at FGsquared practically everywhere. That is YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, which I'm sort of reviving. I also have a sneaky tiki-talkie and a Patreon. And then I'm also on Twitter, but there is a sneaky underscore between the FG and the squared. And this was the Halcyon Frequency Podcast, available on all your favorite podcasting platforms and the website. If we're not on a platform that you would like to listen to this podcast on, let us know, either on the Discord or DM us or DM Blind, and he will do his best to add it to your favorite service. Thank you all so much for listening. We kept it below 2 hours this time. I think we can give ourselves a hearty clap for that one. Yeah. And we will talk to you soon. Take care.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.